I'm done with COVID.
Oh,
I'm done. We were told, you get the vaccine. You get the vaccine and you get back to normal. And we haven't gotten back to normal. And it's ridiculous at this point. This is going to be remembered by the younger generation as a catastrophic moral crime.
Oh my God, she's so bored. You know who isn't done with COVID? First off, COVID itself. The U.S. is now averaging more than 2,000 COVID deaths a day. There's also those who have no choice but to have to deal with COVID. Educators, parents, unvaccinated children, those with disabilities or medical conditions, the elderly, the uninsured, and those who have been on the front lines of this unprecedented global crisis for 2 whole years. Healthcare workers, some of whom spoke to the New York Times about leaving the profession, not just because of COVID, but because of chronic understaffing by profit-driven hospitals.
I hope to be able to leave the bedside within this year.
I don't know how long I can do this. Physically, mentally, emotionally.
I will never work in a hospital setting again. I will never subject myself to that sort of frustration.
Joining me now is Wajahat Ali, columnist for the Daily Beast and author of Go Back Where You Came From, which comes out tomorrow. Happy Pub Day. And it's so great to have you on. I've been coveting your presence on this network for quite a long time. So I'm really excited to see you on, Wajahat. Congrats on the book. So let's talk about this a little bit, because, you know, Barry Weiss is like so bored with COVID. She's like, oh my God, can I just go to the spa and like live my life with my friends and like do like Sex in the City fun things? Like, well, God, you know, but when she was saying it, I'm thinking to myself, well, healthcare workers don't have their lives back. You know, what do you make of this sort of attitude toward COVID?
The bar is so low for some people who whine and complain about cancel culture from the most prestigious platforms. These smug cynics who use their contrarianism as a shield for their selfishness. They're selfish. I'm sorry you're not over COVID. COVID ain't over you. 950,000 Americans are dead, and I'm over COVID. I got 2 kids, virtual schooling in Virginia because my daughter is immunosuppressed. We've been in lockdown for 3 years, 8 months before COVID because of my daughter's stage 4 cancer. They wear masks, Joy, ages 7, 5, and 2. They wear masks, they sanitize, they social distance because they realize they're human beings who have to be empathetic and care about a community because it takes all of us to flatten this curve. So I don't care that you're annoyed about your dinner dates or about your brunches or you go on Bill Maher and you're just over COVID. The rest of us, human beings who care about one another, we're over COVID, but we're doing the right thing. The last thing I'll say is people are really upset at this, watching this right now. We're not asking you to storm the beaches of Normandy. You don't have to cut off your arm like the people in Snowpiercer to feed your friends. Just wear a mask once in a while, get a vaccine, social distance, and then we could all eat brunch together.
You know, I've started coining the term pandemic libertarians because it's a combination of, you know, I am still stressed out about the number of people who died on 9/11. That gave me nightmares. And that was 2,000 some odd people. You know, I think about the Titanic. I'll watch those films and I cannot sleep just thinking about that many people dying at once. I am sort of amazed by the number of people who just don't give a damn. 860,000, 900,000 people die, poof, and it doesn't bother them at all. What they prioritize is they need to have their convenience. And so your immunocompromised kids are just an annoyance to them. They don't want to have to do anything for them. What is that about? Is that like a social disease in this society? What is it?
I mean, it reflects America's cruelty, right? We're a generous country, but at the same time, we've also had cruelty, white supremacy, misogyny. America says, go ahead and die, but just don't die on my lawn. And we're going to respect the greatest generation, but F grandma and grandpa. And by the way, we love the kids. We're pro-life. But you know what? I'm perfectly fine with my kid getting COVID rather than them getting a book written by a Black person talking about racism, because it makes me feel inconvenient. And so we're dealing with selfish people with their inconvenience and materialism who just can't sacrifice the bare minimum. Again, you don't got to storm the beaches of Normandy, wear a mask once in a while, but it shows a selfishness that is at the root of this country. And some of those forces get elected, and some of those forces have a major political party where it's civility for us, cruelty for you, law and order when we want power, but for the rest of you, we don't care. Yeah. As long as you have to accommodate us. That's what it is. You always have to accommodate us, our whims, and our power.
Exactly. And you're in Virginia, which, you know, Glenn Youngkin has formed an entire sort of political movement around the idea of essentially making it less safe for your kids and other kids to go to school. I mean, you're going to wind up having school closures because there are going to be COVID outbreaks. Has there been a buyer's remorse that you've detected at all in Virginia for electing this clown?
Yes, because when it came to the dog whistle of racism, when it came to parents' choice, when it came to CRT, that is not being taught because I got 2 kids. It's not in any lesson plans or curriculums. A lot of white and suburban parents were like, you know what? Diversity makes me uncomfortable. F them kids. Let's get Youngkin. But now he does the anti-mask and anti-vaccine mandates, and their kids are going to be exposed to COVID. And a lot of these Republican parents in Alexandria and Arlington are like, wait. Not my kids. Yep, your kids too. We're in this together.
Yeah.
There's a cost to white supremacy.
What do you make of the sort of Aaron Rodgers of the world? I mean, I heard today that Aaron Rodgers was saying that he would not play the Super Bowl had he no, I see what you did there. You know, had he had to deal with the COVID, yes, you would have, man. You would have gone right. So you want that second ring so bad. But I mean, people like the Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s, the people with big platforms that are using them to be anti-mask and anti-vax. And this Holocaust analogy is bananas.
It's anti-Semitic. It's if anyone who makes the Holocaust analogy, go to Poland like I did. Go to visit Auschwitz like I did. Jews were systematically murdered. You never want to make that analogy because no one's murdering you, no one's torturing you, no one's asking you to be in a concentration camp. We're just asking you to wear a mask and get vaccinated. If you choose not to, then us in the majority, we will move forward. The caravan will move forward. And I want to say this real quick. America should thank the 49ers. First and foremost, we beat the Cowboys. When Cowboy fans cry, an angel gains its wings. And then a week later, we beat Aaron Rodgers, the anti-vaxxer who was immunized against COVID, but not against the 49ers, who are 4-0 against them in the postseason. So
Let me tell you, I'm still mad about Kaepernick, but I'm with you on that as a growing up Broncos fan. If you beat the Cowboys, I'll just love you. Real quick, tell me about your book. Tell us all about your book.
Go Back to Where You Came From is coming out tomorrow. My first book, it's about loving a country that doesn't always love you back. It's an elegy for the rest of us who are still not seen as the co-protagonists of America. It's about stretching and expanding this country to include the rest of us, as there are forces right now, Joy, as we're speaking, trying to restrict us and only make one hero, the hero with the white complexion, the right complexion. But the rest of us, we're not trying to replace you. We just want a piece of the delicious American pie.
Yeah, we can't see your shirt because there's the sort of banner under you, but can you stand up a little bit so we can see your shirt? I love that. This is your dad's
Banta,
message
why don't you
to
do something?
Useful.
The uncles and aunties told me that.
Every immigrant parent sounds exactly like that. I want one of those shirts, and I'm going to get a copy of your book, Wajahat Ali. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate you. Congrats. That is tonight's Reidout. All In with Chris A starts now.